Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Psychiatric Exile as we continue to count down my top 100 animated films of all time. As usual, I'll remind you this is a purely subjective exercise. Hopefully, you can have some fun with it, maybe get a new movie or two from the list that you can check out. And of course, let me know how you feel about the list, the films included, and those films that I didn't include. This week, we're going to cover movies number 60 to number 51, starting at number 60 with Coraline, released by Studio Laika, directed by Henry Selick, and released back in 2009. Really enjoyed this one. It's a really good stop motion animation movie. Uh, I liked the creepy concepts, the creepy atmosphere, and the looks. And nothing really bad or ugly about this one. This one is an easy recommendation. Number 59 is A Tree of Palm, directed by Takashi Nakamura. Um, Seems like they incorporated a new studio for this production, called it Studio Palm, and it was released in 2002. Very good movie. I really liked the art style of this one and the animation. If you know the style of the director, you're familiar with some of his other works, including the Fantastic Children anime, then that's what it looks like, but taken to the next level because of the budget and the better production. The bad, it's somewhat derivative. It's based on the Pinocchio tale, and the pacing is pretty slow. I didn't mind it, but it may be an issue for some people. Worth looking into this one. Number 58, another older movie. This one from back in the 80s, Five Star Stories, directed by Kazuo Yamasaki from Studio Sunrise. 3.5 out of 5 for me. This movie looks and sounds phenomenal. I mean, it's and the world building. My God, it's it's on par with the best of them. And in fact, if the only problem of the movie is a short movie based on a really expansive source material, so you cannot really do it justice. What you get is an introduction to the world and the characters. And I don't know if I know that the manga was licensed in the US back in the day, maybe the 90s, early 2000s. But I don't know if the whole series was licensed or unreleased. I have a number of the volumes, and even back then I couldn't get them all because some of them were really expensive at the time. I'm guessing they only have gotten more expensive since then. But this one, really worth, if you're an anime fan, really worth looking into it and watching it. Number 57, Tokyo Godfathers. And with this one, we get to the movies that I consider to be a 4 out of 5. Um, Directed by the great late Satoshi Kon, released by Studio Madhouse back in 2003. This is a classic, a very well known movie with great characters and actually amazing characters and very good story, very brisk pace that still gives the story and the characters room to breathe. Nothing really bad about it, nothing really ugly about it. It's an easy recommendation. Number 56, Paprika, another Satoshi Kon movie, also released by Madhouse back in 2006. Another 4 out of 5 for me. The story and the concepts are very engaging. Uh, Incredible artwork. I had a tough time connecting with the main character personally, but it's just a personal thing. Most people, I don't think, are gonna have that issue, and nothing really ugly about it. Number 55, Blot, the Last Vampire, directed by Hiroyuki Kitakubo. Production IG is the studio, released in 2000. This one is a classic horror anime. Uh, the action and the gore are top notch. Really like the main character and the concept involved. I wasn't in love with the character designs, and I thought the movie was too short for what they could have done with this story and concept. But I mean, this is a classic. At this point in the list, you cannot go wrong. If you're a fan of this genre, whether it's anime or the subgenre, horror anime, if you're a fan of the genre or subgenre of any of the movies moving forward, you can do no wrong checking them out. I mean, it's well worth it. Number 54, The Secret of the Nymph by Don Bluth, directed by Don Bluth, released by United Artists back in 1982. I give this one a 4 out of 5. The score may be a bit divisive. Some people don't like this movie. I thought the art and animation were stunning. Really, at a level that we seldom see, and at a level that we seldom see anymore, especially in terms of hand drawn animation. I also like that it was darker than I expected. Uh, the plot was somewhat incongruent, and a lot of people complain that the movie is very different than the source. I'm not familiar with the source, so it wasn't a problem for me, but your mileage may vary. Number 53, Sword of the Stranger, directed by Masahiro Ando, released by Studio Bones back in 2007. An easy 4 out of 5 for me. This movie is amazing. I mean, this movie has the best sword fight in any animated movie I've ever seen. And that may be, in fact, maybe the best fight of any animated movie I've ever seen, period. In fact, maybe the best fight of any movie I've ever seen, period. The pace and the music and the choreography and the animation and the art. This is just a kick ass movie. There's not much character development. If you're into that, it may bother you. There's nothing really ugly about it. This one is another classic. Check it out. Number 52, the recently released The Boy and the Heron, directed by Hayao Miyazaki from Studio Ghibli, released back in 2023, very recently. An easy 4 out of 5 for me. The great is that we get more Miyazaki. The good is the message. The bad, it may be ironic given that the great, I said that we get more Miyazaki, but the bad, it may be time for him to pass the torch. I don't know if he has anything left or new to say. He might have, he has such a complete and top-notch uh, work, body of work that I don't know if he has artistically, visually, in terms of story and message. I don't know if he has anything left to say, and it felt a little bit like that was an issue when I was watching this movie, but nothing really ugly about it. And finally, at number 51, Barefoot Gen, directed by Mori Masaki, released by Studio Madhouse way back in 1983. Another 4 out of 5 movie for me. This is a movie about the nuclear bombing of Hiroshima. And as far as I know, is the best representation in all of film or fiction of the Hiroshima bombing. And in fact, I remember going to the anime convention that takes place in Chicago. I think it's called ASEN, is or was called ASEN. And there was a panel by a lady that was a survivor of the nuclear bombing, and her name was Hideko Tamura Snyder. She wrote a book called One Sunny Day, and in her panel, she used scenes of this movie. It is so. I don't know if I could say realistic, but it's so brutal and raw in showing the actual bombing that I don't think there's anything like it out there. Certainly not the recent Oppenheimer movie that completely bypassed that tragic incident. Um, so the part that shows the actual bomb falling and the immediate aftermath, it's really uh, the best thing we have in all of fiction regarding that incident. The aftermath, the representation of the aftermath is also very good. Um, I'm not a big fan of the main character. I find him a little bit annoying, especially in the first half of the movie. But yeah, that's just me. This is really powerful movie. Nothing really like it. If you're an anime fan, you owe it to yourself to watch it. Um, I also had an opportunity to go to Hiroshima and go to the museum and that's dedicated to the nuclear bombing, and a lot of the stuff that it's in the museum, it's shown in the movie. So it's another validation that this is a really well made film, um, well worth your time. So now I can say, uh, again, thank you everybody for your time. I'll see you next time with movies number 50 to 41. And until then, you take care of yourselves. And as usual, thank you for your time. Bye.